All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for everyone coming today to Mothercraft. My name is Alicia Ashton. I am the Executive Director of Mothercraft Ottawa, also known as Canadian Mothercraft of Ottawa-Carleton. And it's my pleasure today to introduce our MPP for this area, Yasser Naqvi.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and Alicia, thank you very much for hosting all of us here today at Mothercraft. This is a very, very special place. I have the opportunity for being here many times over the last 10 years that I have the privilege to serve our community. I was just reminding the mayor that first time that I came here 10 years ago was with him when he was the Minister of Health Promotion, and we were talking about something about healthy eating or healthy living, and Mothercraft was a fantastic place. Many of us know Mothercraft, but one of their most amazing signature event they do is touch a truck. So if you've got a child, I hope you've been to touch a truck every summer. I know my son looks forward to it. It's lots of fun. It's great to have a Minister of Early Childhood and Early Learning, the MPP for Halton, Indira Naidoo-Harris. Thank you for joining us, along with our Mayor Jim Watson and our Member of Parliament Francis Joguin from Glengarry Prescott Russell. We are here today to make a very exciting announcement in regards to childcare. I can tell you as a parent of two young children, childcare is one topic parents talk about constantly. Is this something that we are all obviously obsessed with in terms of making sure that our children have a good access to good, affordable, and accessible childcare? And it's part of your daily life in terms of making sure that your children are safe while you are off to work, that they have access to good childcare that is safe and secure, and of course pedagogically healthy for your children. And in my work as the member of provincial parliament for a downtown community like Ottawa Centre, when I'm speaking to parents, it's one topic that we often talk about as to how can we make sure that we've got good, affordable, and accessible childcare right here in our community. In many instances, walking distance from where you live or where you work, so it is convenient for our parents to be able to drop off their children, be at work, and then pick them up at a convenient time. Our government has been doing a lot of work in that regards in making sure that we've got affordable and accessible childcare available all across the province. The work that's been going on, I would say, for almost 10 years with first the introduction of full-day kindergarten for our 4- and 5-year-olds, which has been just absolutely revolutionary in terms of how we provide education for our children. But then also making sure, as a result of that, is how do we make childcare more affordable and accessible for children 0 to 4 years old, and then of course also before and after care for children 4 and 5, and then 6 to 12-year-olds. And so the work that the government and Minister Naidoo-Harris has been doing is looking at that entire spectrum. The key in delivering childcare is partnerships, is all levels of government working together. And I'm really excited. I think this is first instance as far as I remember, where all 3 levels of government are standing together and making substantive investments in childcare. We've got federal government, of course the provincial government, and our city government all rowing in the same direction and making sure that we've got that affordable and accessible childcare. And I think that is very exciting, and that's really important in making sure that we've got childcare that really meets the needs of the parents and children, and that's in the end it's all about. So thank you for being here because I think it really points to a shift and a turn in the manner in which we deliver and fund childcare from the beginning till our kids are 12 years of age within our system. And to speak about the federal government's perspective, I'm going to invite Member of Parliament from Glengarry Prescott Russell, Francis Joguin, to please come forward and make a presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, MP P. Naqvi, and congratulations on your 10 years in representing Ottawa Centre. Mayor Watson, Minister Naidoo-Harris, very nice to see you. Hello, everyone, and thank you for the warm welcome. I'm particularly proud to be here today on behalf of the Honorable Jean-Yves Duclos, Minister of Families, Children, and Social Development. I would like to acknowledge the Algonquin Nation, whose traditional and unceded territory we are gathered here upon today. As Minister Duclos made it clear in June of this year when he announced the Canada-Ontario Agreement on Early and Child Care, it is time for us to move from principle to action in this area. This agreement is the first step in the effort to ensure that Ontario's children have the best possible start in life. En effet, chaque enfant partout au Canada mérite d'avoir accès à des services de garde éducatifs de qualité, abordables, flexibles et inclusifs et dans leur langue officielle. Nous assurons surtout de mettre l'accent sur les familles qui en ont le plus besoin, les familles de la classe moyenne et celles qui travaillent fort pour s'y joindre. C'est pourquoi nous avons l'intention d'investir 7,5 milliards de dollars sur 11 ans, ce qui permettra à davantage de parents, surtout des femmes, de pouvoir joindre ou retourner sur le marché du travail et de recevoir une formation pour leurs prochains emplois ou encore de retourner aux études. Nous croyons qu'il s'agit là d'un meilleur investissement puisque faire un gouvernement pour renforcer la société et l'économie du Canada. En Ontario seulement, in Ontario, this investment represents $435 million over 3 years. Le Canada ne peut que sortir gagnant de cette initiative et nous sommes fiers de travailler en partenariat avec l'Ontario dans une optique à long terme. And now it is quite an honor for me to introduce the next speaker, a remarkable and well-respected advocate for Canada's children and Ontario's children. Until recently, she was Associate Minister of Finance for Ontario, as well as Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Health and Long-Term Care. She was also previously been Associate Minister of Education, focusing on early years and childcare. On top of that, she sat on the board of directors of the Real World Film Festival, the Nelson Mandela's Children Fund of Canada, and the Journalism Advisory Council at the University of Western Ontario. Please join me in welcoming Ontario's Minister of the Status of Women and Minister responsible for early years and childcare, Minister Naidoo-Harris.
Thank you, MP Durand, for that lovely introduction. Good morning, everyone. Bonjour, bonjour, Annie. I cannot tell you how pleased I am to be here with all of you in Ottawa this morning for what I know is a very important announcement. And I want to start by thanking the wonderful staff here at Mothercraft for hosting us in your beautiful space and in your lovely childcare facility. You know, there's a wonderful energy here. I got a chance to spend some time with the kids this morning, and I have to tell you that you can really tell whether, kids are having fun and enjoying the time there. And it was very clear to me that they were having a really good time here with the staff. And so I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the hardworking staff for your dedication, your vision, and absolutely your commitment to the young children that are here at the center. I'd also, of course, like to thank my colleagues. So first off, my good friend MPP Nakvi, also MP Durand, and Mayor Watson for joining us here today. Because as you know, partnerships is absolutely what it's all about. When it comes to government and doing good policy, when all levels of government come together and work together, we can actually achieve things that I think are magical. Together, our governments are building vital supports for families in Ontario, and we are working tirelessly to make life easier for parents to access the early years and childcare programs that they need. So, in June, we announced the signing of the Canada-Ontario bilateral agreement, and it represented a promise made to each other and to families, a promise that we would work together, to support a national framework to provide greater access to quality, affordable childcare and early years services to children and families. And we did. Under the National Early Learning and Childcare Multilateral Framework, Ontario's 3-year allocation is close to $145 million for each of the 3 years. So, what does that mean for Ottawa? Well, it means that in 2017-18, $5.2 million of that investment is coming right here to Ottawa, to this great city. And I think that's absolutely fantastic news. This funding will be used to address some of the challenges we heard about when I did my consultations with people and families across the province about how we can build a better early years and childcare system. This means that the majority of the federal funding will help to make licensed care more affordable for low and middle income families and will support investment in community-based capital projects. It's a great step forward. It's a great step forward for Ontario families. And absolutely, the federal investment will play a crucial role in transforming our system. It actually builds on our commitment to help 100,000 children aged 0 to 4 access licensed childcare over the next 5 years. And it supports our promise to develop a workforce strategy and definition of quality, both of which are key priorities in our recently released renewed early years and childcare policy framework. But I want you to know that we are committed to making daily life easier for families and to supporting ECEs and care providers. It's about building a solid foundation for our children. So, in addition, this year, the Government of Ontario will be spending a historic $1.4 billion in childcare funding. This includes an additional $200 million announced as part of Ontario's 2017 budget. This means that since 2003 and 4, we have more than doubled our investments in childcare funding. Just think about that. We're making important strides forward when it comes to childcare services, but we absolutely recognize that there's more work to do. In fact, in 2017, our historic childcare investments will increase Ottawa's total funding from $74.8 million to $87 million. I think that's absolutely fantastic. What we will be doing is essentially increasing the amount that Ottawa is getting to close to $12 million. Families in Ottawa are going to get the vital support they need to help them in their daily lives. And there are also funds that we're making available for wage enhancements. In reality, this increase in funding is an increase of close to 16.3% from just last year for Ottawa alone. That's something to think about. Together, these federal and provincial investments will help to support access to families for affordable childcare based on local priorities, and that's extremely important. We all know different communities have different needs. Absolutely. That's why municipalities like Ottawa will have the flexibility to distribute the funds in ways that best serve local families right here. We're giving them the ability to make those decisions. We estimate these investments will support close to 1,000 more kids right here in Ottawa. So, 1,000 more kids in Ottawa will now be able to access licensed childcare spots. 1,000 more children in Ottawa will now be able to access licensed new childcare spots. And this funding will also significantly reduce Ottawa's subsidy waitlist. There's a waitlist for subsidies. This money is going to significantly reduce that, making childcare more affordable for so many families here and across the province. These funds will support an estimated 100 new Ontario early years child and family centres. That's something that will make a difference in the lives of so many children in our towns and communities. No question, this is an exciting time for early years and childcare in Ontario. These investments will make a difference in the lives of children and families in Ottawa and across the province for years to come. Because when our children succeed, we all succeed. So, I want to thank the Government of Canada for working with us to reach this historic 10-year agreement. Our partnerships and these investments will help make life easier for children and families today, but they also make the future better for all of us, better tomorrow. After all, great beginnings inspire great possibilities. All you have to do is look at the faces of the young children here, and you can imagine, just imagine, the possibilities. I'd now like to invite a very good friend, Mayor Watson to come up here and share with you some of his thoughts on these allocations. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, bonjour. C'est vraiment un plaisir pour moi de dire merci beaucoup, Madame la Ministre, Monsieur le Député provincial et fédéral, pour cet partenariat. This is very, very good news for families and children in the City of Ottawa, and I want to thank the Minister and Minister Nakvi and MP Drouin for this great announcement that's going to help a lot of people. Je tiens à remercier la province de l'Ontario et le gouvernement fédéral qui se sont engagés à aider les enfants et les familles non seulement à Ottawa, mais partout en Ontario et au Canada. This year, the City of Ottawa will receive an additional $12.2 million in funding. This funding will help the City of Ottawa make childcare more accessible to more families and will be used to support more than 1,000 children. Specifically, it is expected that this new funding will significantly reduce and possibly eliminate the current childcare subsidy wait list, which is about 700 children, for the 0 to 6 age group. Plus précisément, ce nouveau financement devrait nettement réduire la liste d'attente actuelle pour les places subventionnées des services de garde d'enfants de 0 à 6 ans et peut être même éliminé. That is very, very good news, because having a wait list obviously means these families are under financial stress and financial pressure, and we believe with the work of our staff and the great support of the federal and provincial governments, we can certainly come very close, if not eliminating that entire wait list of 700 children. The city has already begun the process of determining and reviewing eligibility for parents on the wait list, and in fact, we've already started sending out the money. So this is not an announcement where people are going to have to wait months and months. The money is actually starting to flow already, and I appreciate the efficiency and the work of both the province and the federal government to see that happen. We're making changes to our service delivery model that includes adequately resourcing the subsidy office to ensure children will have access to fee subsidies as quickly as possible. Parents work hard for their families, and having access to affordable quality childcare is very important. Les parents travaillent dur pour leur famille, et c'est vraiment important pour eux d'avoir accès à des services. We want to make access to childcare easier for families in Ottawa, and this funding will help a lot of parents gain access to the childcare that they need. We've begun consultations with service providers to gather invaluable information on how we can move forward on that front. We've also established a childcare and early years planning advisory group that will provide advice and guidance to on the planning, transformation and management of a quality, affordable, and integrated childcare and early years system here in the City of Ottawa. Again, I want to sincerely thank the Minister for making the trip to make this announcement. It's very positive news for our city to see this influx of over $12 million coming into the city, and this will go directly into helping eliminate, hopefully, the wait list and providing other child care services and expanding the number of opportunities for children to get a great early education. I want to thank Minister Nakvi, a strong advocate for this program. We met many times on this file in the last year, and I appreciate your perseverance and advocacy. And Frank, thank you, and Minister Duclos. One of my first meetings with Minister Duclos was to talk about childcare and the need to have all three partners at the table together. And good things can happen when the three levels of government work together. Certainement, les trois paliers du gouvernement qui ont travaillé ensemble, c'est des bonnes nouvelles pour des enfants et des familles. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
For some questions? Sure. Question.
Where will be the first dollar spent?
Oh, I think that's a
can-
question for you,
Yep.
Mayor.
The first is eliminating the wait list. As I said, there are about 700 children on the wait list for spots, subsidized spots, and that's our first priority, to get those dollars to those families. And I was just confirmed to me, I believe yesterday, that some of that money has started to flow already. So we know the people, they're on the wait list. We have to do the necessary checks, but those dollars are already starting to flow, and they'll continue to flow over the next couple of months until we whittle down that list, ideally to zero.
Any other questions? Speech
one-on-ones.
Fantastic.
Thank you
That's
very much.
great. Thank you.
That insert in French then?
Oui, certainement, pour nous, la priorité est d'éliminer la liste. Il y a presque 700 personnes sur la liste pour la garderie et des subventions pour la garderie. Et on a commencé il y a quelques semaines d'envoyer des fonds à des parents, et ça, c'est la priorité pour nous autres. Et nous sommes capables de faire ça parce qu'on avait la coopération avec la province de l'Ontario et la province, le gouvernement fédéral.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move the podium out of the way.
Sure.